Welcome aboard. This is the self-elected ape of the year, and today I want to talk about and comment an interesting fight that I had against the P51. So you see right here that there's two planes up front under attack. One just got shot down by this P51, and then we have a bomber, supposedly a 110 or something. I have no idea what exactly it was, but he got some shots into this guy, and now he's diving down in a shallow dive. This is a P51, and I know that in a shallow dive I'm gonna have real trouble to catch up to this plane. I have kicked in the MW50 here, trying my best to get behind his tail. Now he's catching up, getting a little bit more onto speed, doing a rough dive maneuver there. Now I really know I will not be able to catch up to him anymore, so I try to make him maneuver with these shots. The idea here is that I want to make him nervous, so he starts to maneuver. Maybe he climbs up and goes into a turn. That would be the ideal for me to be able to catch up to him, but he stays cool. I think I got a couple of hits in here. Of course, I will never really know, but some of these shots look like they might maybe scratched him a little bit. And I have to, say that here the first mistake was I should have had much more trigger discipline and wasted a lot less ammo, because I have basically already wasted at least half of my MG ammunition. Now I know that he has a lot of kinetic energy in his speed, so you do not want to turn around against a P51 like this immediately, because if I would have turned now earlier, he could have easily translated this additional speed that he has and gotten in a superior position behind me again. So I wanted to make sure that I'm a little bit more on the safe side here before I turn around, and I knew that he was probably going to turn around once he sees that I am disengaging. So I'm making sure that I gain a lot of altitude over him before I do this. So I could have done this earlier and would have been a big mistake, because I know that he's probably going to turn around again and using his additional speed. And speed is always the most valuable resource, because you can always exchange speed into the other resources, like position and altitude. So I have now turned and disengaged and looking for what he is doing. And you will be able to see it here. You see his trail. So he was doing exactly what I thought he was going to do. But the surprising thing is how well the P51 performed here. I knew that he was probably going to try it. And you see that he got again on my tail here. So he turned around once he saw that I turned around and disengaged and climbed up to me. And he was able to do this his resource management and this trading very effectively. It climbed up a little bit before I did the turn, so like in a kind of semi-hammerhead style, I wanted to not be too quick when I turn, so I don't lose as much in friction. And I immediately saw that I did it too early and that my energy advantage was basically not there. Even he was below me. And now we are getting here in a very interesting kind of rudder fight. So I'm twisting the rudder while I do these turns. And right around here I knew, okay, this is not going to work out. So I have him behind me. I reduce the throttle here, try to make him overshoot. I could have gotten some hits in there, maybe if I timed it a little bit better. And now I basically lost him. And in these situations, it's always just, if you lose him, like, just think that he's probably going to be right behind you, which he is. So I'm doing a split S here. And now we are getting once again into this rudder fight. I'm doing here a negative G maneuver. You know, I turn the plane to the side. It looks like I'm gonna pull, but I push instead. Now I'm using my flaps. You see that I've reduced the flaps all around, and I do some vertical scissor maneuvers here, combining it with a little bit of rudder. And I nearly would have gotten him here, but unfortunately I missed. And now he is a little bit on the receiving end again. But now I am, you know, the flaps, I'm pulling the flaps back in. You see that I'm reducing them now to about 30%, which gives me a lot of advantage in maneuverability in those lower speeds. Because the P51 is actually, if controlled correctly, quite nimble. It's a little bit too nimble for its own good. That's why many pilots who are a little bit less experienced than this guy stall out. And for example, in the first turn where I did this hammerhead maneuver, I kind of gambled that he might stall when he tries to climb behind me when I do this steep corkscrew climb. But he is a very good pilot and he didn't stall. That's why it didn't work. Now we are once again in this situation. He is better at this just horizontal flying straight forward maneuver. So I cannot catch up to him. Once again I'm trying to make him turn, and now I have no MG ammunition left anymore. This is where I knew this is gonna be now very dangerous. So I'm in a little bit of a bluff situation here. I know that I have some cannon ammunition left, but it's always very, very bad if you have no MG ammunition left anymore, because once your MG is out, it's not gonna take long before your cannon is out too. But I know that I should have, you know, I know I have probably something like 10 seconds, not 10 seconds, at least 5 seconds of cannon ammunition left. So I'm not completely fucked, but it's getting very dangerous here. So now I know he's getting a little bit even arrogant, because he's climbing with me. So he's not running away. He's already translating, exchanging his speed into altitude just like me. So I know that this is going to repeat itself, that we had the situation that we had before. So I'm trying to climb up a little bit, making everything as smooth as possible, not turning my back to him too quickly, because as you saw, he knows this strength of his plane very well. He has done this a lot. I mean, you can tell by the way that he does everything, that he knows what he's doing. And once again, I'm trying to gain a little bit of altitude before I turn around, but I know exactly that everything is going to turn out just like before. So yeah, while this is going on, I'm going to talk about the campaign just for a little bit. So the first campaign round of the Combat Box server, which we are on here, this is a Combat Box dynamic campaign, has ended, and now there's again just random missions, so they're trying and testing stuff out. And yeah, so just as a little side information, the first campaign has ended, and it doesn't seem like they're immediately starting with the next one. So, okay, so here I disengaged and basically knew that this was about to happen. I'm once again doing this aggressive corkscrew here, gambling, hoping that he's gonna stall while, you know, being overzealous and trying to get his nose on me in this climb, but he doesn't. And I performed this maneuver a little bit better here, but still, I'm not able to get on him here. And I think he already, just as me, has gotten some respect for the fight. He knows that I know what I'm doing, and I guess that this kind of stuff works out for him a lot. So he's running away from a 109. The 109 disengages at some point, and then he just turns around and is still able to catch up, because the 109 pilot can easily underestimate this situation, you know, when he is lower than you, but he has more speed. Yeah, and this is the thing that I said. Speed is always the most valuable resource, because you can kind of hide your energy if you have more speed and lower altitude, and then you get underestimated. And you know, the way that he fought, you can see that he probably had some success with this strategy. So now at the second engagement, he saw that I know what he is doing. He knows that I know what I'm doing, and this is kind of, yeah, a respectful putt situation. So he's now going home, and I'm going home as well, but I'm still not completely convinced here that he is not going to suddenly be behind me. And you know, it's easy to get enraged in these situations, because it looks like he shouldn't be able to do that. But if you really think about it, it makes sense from a physical standpoint, because he just has more speed, and then he can indeed climb up and catch up to me again, even if he has to turn, but I have to turn as well. So this basically cancels each other out. Yeah, and now I'm going back home. I have no ammunition anymore. This was in the second turn. I'm basically very glad here that he decided that this is not going to work out for him or for either of us. I mean, it was very dangerous for him in a couple situations. It was very dangerous for me in a couple situations. And we had an interesting fight here. You saw some maneuvers that I did, you know, with the rudder, using the rudder when somebody is behind you, and you twist the spiral, and the scissor movement and everything. So I guess it was I found it to be a pretty interesting overall fight and situation overall. So and since we have no kills here, I'm going to implement some nice bonus fights that I had. And yeah, so I will see you guys in the next video. Like I said, the combat box dynamic campaign has stopped again, and now they are doing random missions, doing some alpha research. I'm still going to fly on the combat box server and gather some nice fights together for some compilation or something. But just so you know, the dynamic campaign has stopped again. Unfortunately, I thought there was going to be the next campaign immediately after the first one, but it seems like they are not starting the next one immediately. So I can unfortunately not do a further progress report or something like this, because yeah, we have to wait for the next dynamic campaign for that. So here in the next fight we have a Spitfire as an opponent, or maybe it's a Typhoon. I was not able to see that right there, but it looks like a Spitfire. So we have engaged, and I'm trying to, as I always, you know, you always want to do it with the 109, implement as much vertical movement into your turns as possible. So I'm always pulling the nose up while I do these turns. And I thought I might be able to get into a nice attack run here, but it was a little bit of a bad angle. So I'm using an Immelmann to turn, completely vertical turn. And against the Spitfire this works out perfectly well, even those more modern ones. I have the K4 variant of the 109 here. This is basically the best one. So it works out pretty well. Here it seems like he maybe lost me or something, I don't know. No, he has not lost me here. He sees me exactly. He's trying to turn, and he's dodging my shots even. So he changed his direction in the last moment. Something that you always want to do. Once you get a feeling for that, you know exactly when it's about. You know, you have basically some kind of muscle memory for exactly the moment that you are being hit, because it's repeated itself often enough, and just in that moment you just want to change your direction. You know, maybe a split second before that. And here is where he seems to have lost me. He wants to hide in the cloud right here, but just before that happens I get some deadly hits into him. And here we have one last very successful hit with flames and explosions. So just so you are satisfied. So we get a lot of lead here. Bam. And that's it for him. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Self-elected April of the Year, signing off.